Okay, 1, 2, 3, you're on.
Hi, my name's Marilyn Tam, and I'm here today to interview a very special lady, not only because she's my mother-in-law and the only living parent I have, but because she is a legend. And I'll tell you why she's a legend. Aside from the most obvious things, she is the co-founder of the winery that won the Paris tasting. We just finished it today. We just had the 40th anniversary of the 1976 Paris tasting, where Chateau Montelena won over the French wineries. But aside from that, being a visionary and an amazing person that created this winery that won and made America another opportunity for success in the world in the wines. She also is an artist. She's an author, published playwright, a gallery owner, a wonderful mother, but also just an amazing bon vivant. And you know what? You won't believe it. I'm going to embarrass her by telling you how old she is.
No, don't tell that.
Okay. Let's just say that she's definitely past Social Security for some years, but she has more vitality and energy and creativity than anybody else I know. Did I tell you also that she's a restaurateur? She's, in so many words, amazing. And amazing. So, Laura, tell me. Oh, I should mention that her name's Laura Barrett. Laura Grace Barrett. But Laura, so tell me, what is the secret to living such an amazing life?
I don't think there's any secret. You just have to try to do what you think you ought to do, or things that you think are important.
What would you have told your younger self if you look back now and you said to your 35-year-old self, what would you say?
I would probably say to concentrate on one thing and to do it really, really well, instead of wanting to do everything.
Well, you've done so many different things, and you've done them all so well. Would you do anything differently? What would you tell me now? Because I'm looking at your life, I'm thinking, gee, I must have so much more to do, because look at you.
Well, it's too late to change it. That's right. And I think that you won't believe this, but I just signed up for another online class.
See, this is what I mean.
And I think this is probably my 50th online class, and I like the online classes because I can do it from home, and I started when I had kids and couldn't get away, etc. And also I don't have to be embarrassed by what I write. I can be embarrassed all by myself and be confident that I'm saying something that I think is important.
So, well, you publish poets, so as well as an author.
Well, this is a story that I haven't been able to tell because it's concerned it's semi-political, and it's partially concerned with racial unrest. And I don't quite know how to approach the subject since it's become so volatile in these last few years. And so I think that the best way to deal with it is just to tell it like I saw it and like it happened, and let people make their own judgments about my point of view, which obviously is one of racial equality and everybody having a chance. So that is why I'm signed up for this 50th. Well, I think it's the 50th online class. Most of it I took for not credit because I didn't. If I had taken them for credit, I could probably have a PhD by now.
You do have a PhD in life in so many ways.
So I guess I always was interested in learning something new and doing something new and wanting to try something new. And I think that I was adventurous long before my abilities and that the time was right. Now women can do anything. Well, they can't, but they can try. So this is kind of it's going to be called Women in Politics, or something like that.
And this is going to be a book?
It's going to be a memoir, and it's creative, like my last book, with some stories in. I have a story I want to write about San Francisco, when that was the time of the McCarthy hearings, and that was I was an activist then. I was an activist before that
Mm-hmm.
and after that, but not in the sense of getting anything really done.
Well, you've made
know.
so much difference in the world. What would you say would be your crowning achievement of all the things you've done?
5 children and staying alive and listening to all their stories and believing them when they said they didn't lie to me. Because all kids lie to their mothers sometimes. They lie about something, you know. Did they have too much to drink, or did they drive without their license, or did they they never stole anything. I hope they never stole anything. Or they were going to a party when really they weren't going to a party, they were just going out with a guy, or, you know. Small stories, but nevertheless lies. And I believed them all.
So what would do you think the secret, because all your children turned out pretty good. After all, I married one of them. I must think
They were little lies, I guess. Yeah, they had some lies where the police came, some stories. So I think, but having a family and having the family all grown and occupied and having the families of their own. And I think that was shown today with all the 3 sons together and everybody saying, where are the girls? So that was, I think, and that's not something I really planned. My family just kind of happened to me. It wasn't something I said, oh, I need to be a mother and I need to have 5 children. No, I wanted to travel and save the starving children in Africa or something when I was young. I've given that up.
But you know, you have helped so many people. I look at some of the people you have in your life, the people you've mentored, the people you've taken care of, that are now considered your mother, even though they are, of course, no blood relationship. From how many can I name? I mean, in so many countries. I mean, you speak fluent Spanish, you've worked with in Mexico, you've adopted informally so many people here in America. So many people consider you mother and respect you for who you are and what you've done just by your love. So what's the secret?
I think that's the way I was raised, to think of other people and to consider everybody equal and everybody had a right to be happy and nobody was better than anybody else because they had more money or because they had more property or because even that more education. I think that that's how that's where I grew up, thinking everybody, and of course my mother was, I went to church and so believing that the Lord was with us always. But my father always was for the little guy, and I think that's really stuck with me about doing your best to help other people and to be responsible for your own doings. And my mother would say, don't put yourself in places of sin as a woman. So I think it's how you grew up. I don't think everybody has that chance of growing up with that kind of ethic.
And being one of five girls.
I was one of 5 girls. I was the middle kid. Yeah.
And in an area where boys were important, being in a farming family.
Right.
So,
but my father was liberated before anybody. He sent me to college, borrowed money to send me to college. He never said, because you're a woman, you can't do that. So, yeah, so I had that opportunity of feeling free and feeling equal and not being afraid of anything.
So for all the young girls now who is going to watch this video and say, what would you tell them? One thing you would say to them?
Know what you want to do, but stay out of places where you could put yourself in danger with things that you can't handle. Because I think that's where I learned my lessons, in being places that things happened that really were out of my league. And I think that I learned from those things. And that's one of the things that's going to be in my new book, about things that, wanting to do things that were scary or that maybe could have ended badly.
But you've done such amazing things. You were airline stewardess when
I
it was
know.
a very privileged position,
Right.
and you started an art gallery when women don't do
Oh, I
those
started a
things.
restaurant too.
You started a restaurant, a music hall, you know, did a musical, and all these things were things that were not done before in your generation, or with people, with women.
Yeah. Well, I think they have a lot of women. When you think about all the people who have, women who have done important things, you know, or fought for women's rights, but I've never been what you'd call a feminist. I've always believed that I was free, and I was liberated, and I could do things. So it's not always that easy, you know.
But you kept going.
Oh yeah, right.
So would you tell the young girls now to keep going?
Oh yeah. Believe in yourself, and study and work. I mean, I think that studying and working hard at things. I mean, our restaurant was a success because I became a good cook, right?
You are a fabulous cook.
And I wasn't afraid to work, and also to travel and to see the world. I've traveled a lot by myself.
And with your children, you took your children everywhere.
I took my children when I could. Yeah.
And I know they've all grown so much from that. I know I have. So I'm just grateful for that. So one last word. What would you say for all? I mean, there are boys as well as girls, and men and women who's watching this. So what would you say? One sentence you would tell them that's gonna get them charged and moving. Now that with all your wisdom.
Well, I think you should look at yourself and see what you're good at, and then go after it. You know, I think that you should not try to do everything. You should just look at what you're good at and go after that. And I mean, I'm good at writing. I'm good at English. I'm good at cooking and all the things that I did. But if you're good at anything and you like to do it, then you should just do it.
So
And don't not be afraid of what people say or what they think. And
follow your passion.
Just follow your passion, right? And make art.
And you have done that so well.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
love your friends and your kids, and the more, I mean, to get love, you give love, and I think that's what we all want. So I feel very blessed for all the people I've known and all I get to know, and for having been forgiven.
And you forgive too.
Right.
Thank you, Laura. I love you so much.
Is it supposed to be on here?
Let me see.
I think I hit the wrong button. I think you
Oh,
got to
okay.
do it over.
Let me see.
No, we can't do it over.
Let me see. Did you
Just-
push it?
I'm just teasing. I pushed it. Very good.
Let me see.
Messing